Hello, it's Diane McCann and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'd like to talk about chanting and the amazing benefits that chanting can have to help our emotional and mental well-being. And also it also has many physical benefits as well. Now, sometimes when we think of chanting, we may have this image in our head of somebody sitting on top of a mountain, sort of like really in deep concentration, chanting for, I don't know, days, months, But in our current times, chanting is, accessible and easy to do without having to go sit on top of a mountain for days or months on end. So I want to try and break this video down into a couple of aspects really. So to talk a little bit about the physical benefits that chanting can have alongside the more deeper inner connection with ourselves that we can access and gain as well. So if we begin with the physical benefits, when we actually begin to chant, we stimulate, there's 84 meridian points on the roof of our mouth, and when they're stimulated, they in turn stimulate our pituitary gland, our pineal gland. It stimulates lots of chemistry within the brain, in a positive way. And within the brain, it's a couple of aspects that it's helping to regulate within the brain is the hypothalamus, which helps with our homeostasis, our balancing and regulation, and also the amygdala part of the brain, which links into some of our more emotional responses linked to, say, fear and anger. So it's helping to regulate and strengthen all of those areas, which is just amazing. It will also, when you begin to chant, what we're doing is we're really focusing on the sound that we are producing and emitting, that we are letting out. So when we're doing that, we're probably not even aware of how much we're doing it, but we're concentrating. We are entraining our body and our brain to be focusing on the action and the words that are physically coming out. Now, when we do that, what we're actually doing is we're stopping ourselves or reducing the feelings of overwhelm and anxiety and stress that may have been happening. So what it does is it entrains the brain as such to focus on the action that you're doing and stop you focusing on the stressors that may have been happening. And whilst it's also doing that, another benefit is that it helps our breathing and our heart rate to work together. So as we breathe and chant, it's actually working in balance with our heart rate, and they're working together in a calmer way. So yeah, it's just amazing. It's also known to release endorphins, our happy, feel good, like chemicals and everything, like the chemistry within the body. So it can help us feel like really good. There's some scientific studies which shows that it's really good as well for boosting and strengthening the immune system. So there's some amazing, what I would call more physical benefits attached to this. And there's also some other aspects as well, which is what I would deem the more subconscious, the deeper, more spiritual inner connection with ourselves. So when we actually begin the practice of chanting, what we're actually doing is we are making space for ourselves to stop and connect in. And when we do that, that is when the magic begins to happen. And we connect more into our inner life state, our inner connection, our inner being, whatever you want to, terminology or language you want to put around it. That is like one of the ways that you can actually connect in. And a lot of people have found that with consistency in practicing chanting, they've actually begin to feel so much more happier and have been able to connect in with themselves on a much deeper level. It's almost like it's able to help to transmute feelings of or emotions that are more vibrationally more denser, things such as like anger, that type of thing, and helps you to connect in and find a place of peace and balance. Balance is so key in today's world when there's so many external factors hitting us. If we can find a place of connecting inwards, that is just one of our greatest gifts. What I would like to say is that the words that we chant are very important. So there's lots of chants around, that you can do. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you was to chant the word Santa Claus as opposed to the word Om, two different frequency vibrational blueprints in what these words actually mean. So, be mindful of what you're chanting, because the blueprint and frequency of those words are very important. When I connect in with chanting, I always call it's like having a vibrational dialect. It's incredible that a practice, like I said, relatively simple, once you get in the flow of it, can produce so many benefits. It also really helps to strengthen the throat chakra here, and when that strengthens, that helps with communication, speaking our truth, so lots of wonderful benefits. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? I think really, just in closing, the one thing I would say is, like, if you're curious and you want to start exploring this practice a little bit more, then maybe start with something fairly simple like Om, 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 and see how you go. Make sure you're comfortable when you're doing it. I always like to be kneeling and have my hands together, and then I find that during the practice my hands might move or whatever. Everyone's different, but I guess the key thing is just be comfortable and try and be somewhere where you're not really going to be disturbed, so that you're really focusing on that bit of self-care and taking some time out for yourself. So if I was to show you now, like when I'm going to connect in, you take a nice deep breath. Now that could have kept flowing for quite a while, so I thought best to stop. But what I find is that the more that I chant, I build up, because you're actually creating a vibrational frequency within your own life force, your own inner state. And I find that sometimes after chanting, especially if I have done it for a long time, and I don't mean it can be like long time as in duration of time, but also consistency daily, really important. That I can actually feel the vibrational blueprint of that oscillating. I sort of feel my cells firing and sparking off in a good, healthy way. It just creates, that overall really good, happy feeling. So if you're feeling a bit down, or you're curious about how chanting can help, I always like to say that, for many people, you don't necessarily find chanting finds you. It's one of those things that, is you're going to connect in with it or you're not. But when you do, I find that most people do. And the way to connect in with it are consistency and practice. And as you do that, so many wonderful gifts, could be waiting there, to just be revealed for you. So have a go and see how you feel. I've actually written a blog on chanting, so I'm going to see if I can get the link down to work underneath this in the comments as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed. But if you have any comments around this, then please just drop me a line or let me know how you get on, because it really can help to raise your vibration, lift your mood, and give a different perspective on, just life in general. So there you have it. We have some of the physical benefits and some of the more deeper inner state benefits as well. So enjoy from my heart to yours. Much love.